Hello and welcome. All around South Park, there are beautiful mountain cemeteries rich in history. We're going to show you about those today and tell you a little bit about the people who were laid to rest here. I'm Taylor Canny, and this is the South Park Heritage Experience.
Well, I think the cemeteries here are important because Park County was one of the first counties founded when Colorado became a territory. So Park County was created in 1861, and some of the buckskin cemetery burials go back to that early time. So I think it's really also significant for the state as well that we have some of the earliest burials in the entire state here in Park County. Actually, where the current Como Cemetery site is, there was one previous to that. And I think that was located behind the schoolhouse and the town hall. And then I think in 1881, the town marshal, Mr. Cook, who was later murdered, he asked that all the bodies be disinterred and reburied in the, quote, new cemetery, which is the one that we know now. The Como Cemetery is what is called a mountain cemetery. And so true to that name, the plots aren't usually laid out in rows and in blocks, say like at Riverside Cemetery in Denver, where everything's very orderly. Mountain cemeteries, people were just sometimes buried every which way, although typically people are buried facing east. That way, when there's the second coming, they will be facing the sunrise. So it's an old legend. And another feature of mountain cemeteries, and buckskin is also one, is that it uses the natural landscape. So you won't have a plot that's manicured. You know, it uses what we have naturally in the mountains, which I think is beautiful. Because in the fall, you get the aspen leaves on the ground and over the graves, and then in the summer, in spring, you get the wildflowers. Ellen McCallum, who has a business in Fairplay, she did a survey, and I think she also had a survey commissioned, or maybe in conjunction with the county commissioners, had a survey of the cemetery done. And I can't remember what company did that, but yes, I'm sure they discovered a number of burials that were unknown before then. And probably many in unmarked graves. You know, if they were using wood headstones in the 1800s, of course, those are going to disintegrate in, 20 years or so. And I must say I'm not a believer in the paranormal particularly, but I used to go up there alone every July. And, this is going to sound funny, but I think when you take all these and put them together, it adds up to a little something. So I was there by myself. It was probably about 8 years ago, around July 4th, and I got bit by a mosquito. I mean, the place is packed with mosquitoes, the mosquito range. So, of course, there's plenty of mosquitoes there. I got bit right in the forehead, and I didn't think anything of it until it became infected, and my eyes almost swelled shut, and I had to go to a doctor and get an antibiotic to get the swelling to go down and the infection to go away. So the next year, I went up there again. Would you believe the exact same thing happened again in the same place? Once again, I got an infection so bad, my eyes almost closed, and I had to go to a doctor again. Another time, I was taking photos of some of the headstones there, and there was what we call a funeral home marker, just a little square metal marker with a name handwritten in. And it was so low to the ground, I had to sit on the ground. And as I was sitting, I ended up kind of standing on her grave. The name is Helen Wist, W-I-S-T. And the minute I did that, one of the lenses fell out of my glasses. The Columbine Genealogy Society, headquartered in Littleton, did a survey of the Park County cemeteries a number of years ago, and they came up with a total of 54 cemeteries. Now that includes all the big cemeteries that we know about, but they were able to research individual burials throughout the entire county, which I thought was unique and a wonderful contribution to history. And so just a couple miles down the road, there's a burial up on top of a hill. There's burials up Geneva Gulch. There are ranch burials out in South Park. There's private cemeteries with just a few burials. So I think that was a real contribution, and I think most people don't know about those.